Dispelling the Myths, TBI and PTSD, CAP Innovation Day, TBI and PTSD defined, Lisa Stern.
Just very quickly, TBI is just so we're all on the same page. It's defined as a blow or a jolt to the head or a penetrating head injury that disrupts the function of the brain. Okay? It can go from mild to severe. It can be something passing through the skull. It can be a head being jarred, such as we often hear about in IEDs, IED explosions. So think about this. Your brain is like mush. You know, it's like Jell-O. Okay, has anyone ever seen a real brain? So cool. But anyway, it's like mush. Okay, so it's Jell-O-y, it's shaky. The skull is hard. Mine harder than most, but it's hard. So if you had Jell-O in a mason jar, okay, anyone ever do any canning? Everyone knows what a mason jar is, right? Just making sure. Or a jelly jar, whatever. So if you have Jell-O in a mason jar, and you shake that jar, okay, what happens to the Jell-O? Jumbles. It sometimes might break up. Not that the brain's breaking up or anything, but stuff happens to it. Now, typically, what will happen is if that Jell-O is the brain, when the brain gets hit or hit, the brain will swell, because that's what our organs do when they're damaged. They swell. So if that Jell-O is to swell in that jar, what's going to happen? There's no place to go. There's going to be tons of pressure. That's what when you're thinking brain injury or mild traumatic, whatever we're not even going to put a label on it, but we're thinking traumatic brain injury. That's what happens to the brain right away. So there's no place. The brain will swell because it has been injured. Think about when you hurt yourself and you might get a what's that called? When you a bruise. A black and blue mark, that's what I was thinking about. When you get a bruise, it will swell because that's your body's reaction. Well, the brain has no place to go because the skull's not going to expand. So oftentimes what is necessary immediately, and what they're really doing now, stepping up much more so than ever, is that soldier or that service member needs time to rest. The brain needs time to rest, okay, so that the swelling goes down. PTSD, on the other hand, is now it will be, I'm not sure if anyone keeps up with all of we're going to the DSM-5, but if anyone's keeping up with what's happening with the D in disorder, they're really looking at, do you keep the D? Should it just be post-traumatic stress? Bottom line is, this is what it is now. Post-traumatic stress disorder is what's recognized in the DSM-4, and that is how you basically get the indication of a disability. But I like to think of it, or I shouldn't say think of it, explain it as it is a psychological health injury. You know, it's not something that you went into battle with necessarily or knew, but when you come out because of exposure to an extreme and traumatic event where you felt at risk, where you knew someone else was at risk, something that just shook you or changed you, you can actually recover from that too. So that's, you know, there's another, if anyone's also interested in research, there's a lot of new research coming out about something that they're deeming or calling post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a psychological health injury. You think of an injury as a broken arm. A broken arm will heal in time if you do what you're supposed to do, if you go to the doctor, if you limit your exertion, whatever it is they tell you to do. Post-traumatic stress can also be the same. And the majority of people who are living with, and I'm not saying suffering from, but living with, are recovering, are finding ways to do what it is that they need to do to be successful, to understand what this means for them, not for the world, but for them. The thing to also remember, and I think that, you know, again, going back to 2001, the whole operation has, or military operations have brought to light a lot of this information, but it's not new. PTSD is not specifically a military diagnosis. You work with people, I guarantee you, in your offices right now, who either are living with or have suffered from some traumatic event and are now living with some ramifications of post-traumatic stress disorder, or brain injury. But you don't know it because you don't have to know it, because they do what they need to do. But PTSD, child sexual and physical abuse, terrorist attacks, sexual physical assault, a car accident, seeing a car wreck, floods, natural disasters. So I want to make sure that, and I think that recognition is there, it's not military specific. So this can be anyone, this is anyone. There's not, if you want to know the face, what it looks like, look to your right and look to your left, or look in the mirror. I'll look at the video later. But it could be anybody. Okay. Studies will show that at any point in time, more than 50% of the population could meet the diagnosable criteria for a mental health issue. 50%. Now that's not what is diagnosed, because many people don't go for help. Many people don't say they need help. Many people don't do what they need to do. But that's a lot of people.
For more information, visit www.cap.mil.